Okay, and hello, and welcome to the Slam Jam Wrestling Show here on the Extreme Improv Xstreamed YouTube channel, as well as the Slam Jam Wrestling Show YouTube channel. So whichever platform you're watching on, or whether you're listening to us on an audio version later on, make sure you smash that subscribe button and share the show with people, guys. Now, on the show tonight, we're going to be discussing all kinds of things happening in the world of professional wrestling. We'll be having a good, jolly old time, joking about all of the crazy stuff that's been going on, and stuff that's going to be happening. It's going to be Sting's final match at AEW Revolution this weekend. Last weekend, it was Elimination Chamber in Perth, and there's all kinds of other things been going on in the world, some happy, some sad, but we'll get into this and so much more. Say hello to the people. Dave.
Hello people, how you doing? I have, a little while ago I was having a little lighting situation and managed to find the light, saw the light coming in finally. But it seems that Deb has joined the House of Black for some reason, so it's
I live in darkness.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, oh, look at this. Last minute run in there. We'll get to you in one moment. But Dev, say hello to the people.
Hello, I'm Dev. And I'm coming to you live from Parts Unknown, apparently.
There we go. And coming to us live from Parts Unknown is Gav. Say hello to the people.
Hello, people.
And I'm David, and I'm also here. Now, on the show tonight, we are going to get into all kinds of stuff, but let's start with last week. A lot of us did predictions. I don't remember who said what. We spoke about the Elimination Chamber, and it then happened. It went down. Let's hear everyone's hot takes. What did people think of the Elimination Chamber from Perth?
I've got a hot take for you right now. It was bang in the middle.
Okay, so what? Not too bad, not too great.
It was fine for what it was, but you know, if you're going to have a big sort of stadium event and you're going to have all the seats decked out like Triple H's symbol on the ground and have loads of 50,000 people there, then put on a good show for them. I'm glad that Australia got like a big event, big PLE, that sort of thing. But then you put on 4 matches, 5 including the pre-show, and then you also intersperse that with a bit in the middle where there was 50 minutes of non-wrestling action going on, and about, 25-minute chat show bit or something like that. I think most of that was made up of Cody and Seth's entrance, and it's firmly bang in the middle for me.
Yeah, well, I was trying to think, has there ever been a WWE pay-per-view with less matches on it? 4.
I was going to say, I think that's kind of the formula that they're going with right now, isn't it? Like Clash of the Castle, how many was there?
Okay, that's a good point. That was a disappointing amount of matches. I'm not going to lie, when I was actually going to it, I really enjoyed being there. But I was like, there's so many wrestlers that I'd like to see that aren't doing it. So, but I've got a feeling it was like more than that. Clash at the Castle. Let's see how many.
We had 6 on the main show and 1 pre-show.
Right.
Yeah, so even that felt a little slim low. But 4 matches for a pay-per-view.
I think what they're doing is modelling it after the UFC, because on the UFC main card, there's 5 bouts, 5 matches.
Yeah.
So I think that's what they're trying to do, kind of take that same approach. I think since like the last probably year or so, or
since TK over took over, no, I don't know.
But also I think if they're trying to counterbalance like the importance of and the fact that they're now premium live events rather than pay-per-views, and none of them really are pay-per-view anymore, they're all on either the network or on Peacock. So, and there's so many of them now that maybe they're trying to streamline some of them down in terms of like the length of them, in terms of keeping all the other ones sort of special and all that sort. But then again, it was still 3.5 hours with 5 segments and 2 chamber matches. And I'm sorry, when you see one, it's got to the point now. You see 1 chamber match, you kind of see them all now.
Yeah, I mean, but like with 4 matches and 2 of them being chamber matches, how close was this to becoming WWE's version of TNA Lockdown? It's like they may as well put the other 2 matches just in the cage.
Well, the Royal Rumble only had 4 matches on it, didn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, but like that. But if one of them's a guaranteed 30-man match, and another one's a 30-woman match,
30-woman match.
then you see a lot of different people. I can kind of accept that one would last that length, and have that many matches. But no, that might be a good point. Royal Rumbles, I guess.
Say, to me,
yeah, go on.
the only thing is, I don't know about everyone else, but it was a bit predictable. But I always find that around this time anyway for WrestleMania, I mean, they already give their hand away, don't they? So we already knew Rhea was going to win.
Yeah.
We knew that Becky was going to win.
Yeah.
So.
Well, was it Corey Graves literally announced at the start of the show that Becky Lynch has won and is going to WrestleMania?
No, it's the other way. It was the other way around. She did Becky will go on and face Rhea Ripley.
All right, yeah.
Well, actually, Byron, Corey. I mean, it's actually it might be Nia. It might be Nia, honestly.
Yeah.
Weeks leading up as well, wasn't it? So.
Yeah. But look at this. So on the show, obviously we had Indy and Candice against the Kabuki Warriors on the pre-show. I'm going to be honest, I didn't see that at all. Like, not a second of it.
Right.
Then we had the first Elimination Chamber for the Women's World Championship match at Mania. 32 minutes. We had Judgment Day against the New Catch Republic. 17. That match was 17 minutes. Can you believe that? Like,
it was a good match. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Okay. Once again, I'll be honest. I didn't watch all of that match. I saw some of it.
I enjoyed it. It was a good match.
And I'm sure it was, but it was a foregone conclusion match. There was no way the Judgment Day were losing the titles just before Mania.
They might as well call this foregone conclusion chamber because every match was going to happen. But sometimes it doesn't necessarily, it doesn't
take away all the time. Yeah.
It's predictable for the right reasons, and it's good. But it's also I think you guys were saying last week with the chamber matches, at least they can, if you knew that Drew was going to win in the end and that Becky was going to win, at least they've then added in some speculation as to other matches that are happening. So we know we're getting some combination of LA Knight versus AJ Styles and Randy Orton versus Logan Paul in some sort of form.
Yes, yeah. There was a lot of setup. That was good how they achieved that.
Yeah.
I particularly liked what they did with Logan and Randy, and then obviously there was that video came out in the last 24 hours, which was Logan like, I'm hurt and stuff like this. I tricked you.
Move.
Yeah, that was really good. But what I was going to say is when I actually saw the show and Logan had got the brass knucks, which I'll be honest, I'm kind of thinking like, why is this his thing, right? I don't even quite know because his gimmick. Yeah, I know, but his gimmick was already that he. Yeah, his gimmick was already that he was a boxer with a lucky punch. He kind of didn't need a second punch thing. But then when he was like pumping it up, Orton literally came out of nowhere. The filming of that was brilliant. That was one of my favourite out of nowhere RKOs.
The other thing as well, Randy, you got me.
Oh,
incredible.
Yeah.
I just thought he was old.
I'm scared.
I just thought he got old.
Because he's old.
I just thought he got old and they couldn't wrestle like anymore. So he's like,
he's got all the track injuries. It's like, it's just beautiful. Especially the best bit was when he did he did a leap for, I think he let frog over Owens at some point or something like over his back or something, and they sort of twisted his legs in pain and all that stuff. I was like, oh my god, this guy's.
Yeah.
I wasn't watching it live, so I sort of knew like there was some sort of thing going on with his back, but I hadn't heard if it was legit or not. So I was watching it going, oh my god, is this actually happening? Yeah, it's great.
No, like years ago, like when Randy Orton was like a rookie and then youngest world champion, I was like, he's average, I don't think he deserves to be in this position. I really like Randy Orton in the last 5 years. Like, he's like, so much has clicked into place. Like, it was a few years ago when he started adding new moves to his repertoire. Like, all of his moves are kind of signature moves, and he's got the right balance of his character now. And also, since he's come back since Survivor Series, he's clearly just enjoying it.
Exactly.
He's clearly just like going crazy on the ropes and stuff like this. And yeah,
as a person, he's grown since he had a kid. He's grown as a person, so he's not wild anymore.
Yeah.
And like not responsible. And since he was a kid, he was always the best at the execution. Everything he did looks good.
Yeah,
Nothing
yeah,
he
absolutely.
did looks sloppy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why like people liked him because everything he did looked fantastic. No
Well,
matter when he did it.
See, but like, even like, because back like in his early career, he'd got like a ridiculously high drop kick and crossbody block, and I was like, at the time I was like, but Van Damme can do so much more. But the thing I'll give to Orton, everything he did do, like you say, Dev, he did well. He didn't go further than he needed to, and what he did do was well executed.
Yeah. And fun fact for you, in fact, this is my Russian trivia fact of the week. Mark Jindrak was supposed to be in Evolution.
Yeah.
The reason he was taken off was because Mark Jindrak and Randy Orton were terrors backstage. So they had to separate them.
Wow. That's terrible. Is what happened to Jindrak in the end?
I have no idea.
Like, I think I read something that he might have just about retired, but I think he
Oh, sorry. He's working as a producer.
What, in Hollywood?
WWE.
WWE. What? He's in WWE right now.
Yeah, he's a producer. Yeah.
Wow.
He joined. He was part of Kurt Angle's stable for a bit on SmackDown, wasn't he? Him and Kurt and Luther Reigns.
That's
I don't think they ever had a name, but they had a little stable going there. And then he was on Velocity most of the time. But then he became a big star in Mexico. So,
Yeah.
So he did well at wrestling.
Like, recently they found footage of Mark Jindrak in Evolution. And I just sent a picture in the chat for you guys to look at.
Okay, well
It's,
let me copy that and bring this.
Yeah, I think that's like a it's like a thing in one of the WWE DVDs, either like Batista's or Triple H's. Or
Here we go.
like that.
See if we can zoom in on this.
Saying he didn't really have it. Yeah, so all that stuff there with Flair.
I'm not gonna lie, he doesn't look like he fits. He looks like he's wearing someone else's clothes.
Yeah.
Like literally, he doesn't look like he belongs there.
Do you remember the Evolution the video that they put out there? They used that bit. Well, it cuts across from left to right to Randy to Triple H to Flair, and then cuts off.
Oh my god!
In the original thing.
Yeah.
That's why Batista's not in this. Obviously, they're not in that part of the video.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
this whole thing, like walking down the street, going
Batista was like very last minute.
Just to think how time could have been different, and like Mark Jindrak was in Guardians of the Galaxy instead. Time is completely altered.
Think about it though. Them cutting Mark Jindrak out of Evolution is very much akin to WWE cutting a lot of people out of WWE history.
Yeah, like
like people we don't need to mention.
Yeah.
Another thing about like you just reminded me of, instead of Roman Reigns, it was meant to be KO. Because the Shield, because it was meant to be indie stars turned into the faction together.
Okay.
And then they replaced it with Roman Reigns.
Wow.
I
Because
didn't know that.
Yeah,
KO refused to lose weight.
I don't know if it was that reason, but I think it's just a case of they wanted to push Roman Reigns and bring him up, so they replaced him. But yeah, that was the original pitch. I think that was Punk's pitch.
Yeah.
To be on the Shield.
So it turns out Punk is the architect of the Shield. So,
Sort of.
sort of.
And now they don't like him.
Yeah. Like it's so funny that like it seems whether how much of it is true or whatever, but it seems like they genuinely all dislike him, and I'm sure there's reasons for it. Like just even if he kind of got them into that position somewhat, doesn't mean they have to go on. They could be grateful for that moment, but then not necessarily like Mr. Straight Edge thereafter.
Yeah.
I just saw on my social media, so sometimes I get like pop-ups of various wrestling groups on Facebook and things like that that come up with just a random post of them. And someone's posted that they've received the DVD of All In, Wembley, and it has all the stuff on there. So it's got the front cover, it's MJF and Adam Cole, and on the back it's got the match listing, it's got the various pictures of wrestlers on the side, things like that. Punk is nowhere to be seen.
Wow. But not even on the match listings.
He's on the match listings, Punk versus Joe, but it's like right them back in the middle, and unlike the other ones, the wrestlers are not either side of the.
I don't think they would be able to, because of the whole legal reasons. That's probably why
Oh, probably, yeah, but it's still quite funny.
Yeah, because obviously he'll have to get royalties and everything if he's advertised.
I mean, it's just such a weird situation where, like the whole thing with like when Punk, like, this is like my theory is at some point in 20 years we'll find out that this whole thing was some big work. It's like Andy Kaufman level of work or something. Just because
you're clutching on to that.
Yeah, I'm never going to give up on this. But literally when Punk left, how did he have the wherewithal to think, well, I'm going to leave and set up a match with me and Roman as I'm walking out with a championship over my shoulder, when he's literally just had a fight with Jungle Boy? He got into a yelling match and chewed out Tony Khan, and he was already planning his escape. Like, even if it was that he was just thinking, well, I'm going to, like, he might have come back in June last year, and Punk was like, I don't want to be here, they won't let me out my contract, and then probably people just advised him, well, just, you're dead man walking, you can do whatever you want, and either they'll keep you and you can keep doing whatever you want, or they'll fire you. So he did whatever he wanted, but it's clearly, it was on his mind that, well, he didn't even seem in a bad mood.
But he went to go visit WWE during that period as well.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, he went to WWE, he went to TNA. It's like, who does that?
Yeah, I think he wanted out.
Yeah, he was just planning it, and the thing which is so like crazy about it, one of the details that came out like 2 or 3 months ago, was that he was having Jim Cornette's lawyer as his lawyer in all this. So like the guy that's this is actually true. So if you've ever listened to Jim Cornette's podcast, they'll do periodic adverts for, you can call Stephen P. New, and they play a little jingle. And that is literally who CM Punk's lawyer was. Him and, what's the other? Ace Steel used him. And it feels like there's no way that he might be the best qualified person because he knows wrestling or whatever. But literally the only reason to hire that guy is just because you wanted to twist the knife into Tony Khan as hard as you could on the way out. But yeah, so it's like, if that's what they were doing, it feels like some big concocted plan of like, well, how can I get myself fired? Look for an opportunity. Because there was all of the stories about he was getting into, that he banned, who was it, Christopher Daniels from Collision, Punk did, and stuff like this. Yeah. And then, he was determined to be out of that.
Montreal all over again.
Yeah. Okay, now, were we done reacting to the Elimination Chamber? Because I feel like we kind of brushed past it.
Not much more to say, is there?
What did anyone think? Like, literally, because as you guys know, like, I saw what I thought was the main event being the men's chamber, and I switched the show off without even seeing Ripley and Jax live. So I had completely, I had to see that later. But what do you guys think? Did Nia Jax give a reason for why she should main event a Mania?
Who's that? Nia?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what? I'm going to go against everyone else.
I refused.
I was going to say, I think she's come back really strong. I like this. I'm actually enjoying this run.
Not strong, but that doesn't mean she's been any good. She's still...
I think she's been all right.
I might swear.
Again. I think she's been okay. I've enjoyed this run. Personally.
I think they've used her in the way that her character should be used. But yeah, she's...
She should not be using that frigging banzai drop as a finish. It scares me every time.
Yeah.
She needs to keep hold of that top rope. That's one thing.
The thing is, with this show, they should not have used Nia against Rhea Ripley. They should use someone like Chelsea Green.
I don't know. That's not viable.
Sorry, Dave, I don't understand. What do you mean?
So basically, it's the hometown champion defense. They should have used anyone else apart from Nia Jax against Rhea Ripley, really.
No, I'll tell you why it should be Nia. Because, it builds Rhea's credibility as champion to actually topple Nia.
Well, there's a few things to it. So this was a revelation to me when we said it like a week ago or whatever. But Nia is actually Australian, isn't she?
Exactly. Yeah.
She was born in Australia. Now, I don't know how long she lived there. but because she doesn't sound like Rhea Ripley on the mic.
I think she moved when she was a baby.
When she was a baby, right?
Yeah.
But still, hometown girl sort of thing.
I was going to say, they should have booked that as an all-Australian main event.
Well, yeah, that's probably never happened in wrestling before.
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong, I don't like watching Nia wrestle. I think she's not very good, but that doesn't mean I don't think like I said, I think she's been booked really strong to this point. I think that was the whole point. I think I said on here when we were doing Rumble predictions, I said Nia wasn't going to win the Rumble, but she probably will be Ripley's opponent for the Australia show because she's the most over heel female. People universally dislike her. She does get, the crowd reaction in that respect. So so in terms of the position, she absolutely was the right choice for that show. Whether it's a main event position, I don't know. But then, Australia were wanting to root for their hometown, their home country girl, and that's what they got to do. So it was the right thing to do as the main event. And
it was also the shortest match on the show, minus the pre-show match. But yeah, the Judgment Day tag match and both chambers went longer. It was 14 minutes, which is respectable, but relatively.
That's about as much time as you want Nia on there. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, well, look, if it wasn't for Nia Jax, we'd never have the My Whole meme. So
yeah, got a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so there we have that, guys. Before we come on to AEW Revolution, a couple of sad things within the wrestling world this week. Ollie Anderson and Virgil both having passed away. Any particular thoughts on this front, guys?
Really sad on both cases. I wasn't a WCW guy growing up, so I didn't really get to see Ollie that much. Just have to admit that. Obviously, I've heard the stories and whatnot. Sounds pretty funny. But yeah, Virgil, I just thoughts. And I even said something on not Twitter anymore, X. It's funny how we all now, since he's passed, we're all giving him his flowers. I knew he was going to hate that.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, it's just it's a shame that he didn't get to see how much respect he had before he went.
Yeah.
It's this to actually bring it. But yeah, there's some pivotal moments that he had. Obviously winning the turn on the $1 Million Man, and then actually winning the belt from him. So good memories.
Well, do you know what? No, go ahead, Dave. Go ahead.
I was saying that Virgil's amongst that group of wrestlers. That was my first experience of American wrestling. So I think I just started watching just after Rumble 91, so saw the events going from that. They replay the events, and I'm like, okay, what's this about this guy? Just hit this guy, and everyone loves it, and all that sort of stuff with that, and seeing WrestleMania, the build to that match, and all that bits and pieces. And it was sort of I guess a sort of a favourite at the time because obviously I'm rooting for the good guys all the time, and that sort of stuff. But it was quite cool to see. See him live a couple of times when they were over here in the UK. There was, it was never the standout match or anything like that. It was never particularly grossing in ring character. But I think that, like you say, that initial sort of turn on the $1 Man was great, and getting to sort of see his work as the bodyguard as well. And just he was always just there. It was always actually underrated in terms of being there at the right times and all that sort of stuff to cause the interference and to get. And to take WrestleMania, whatever it was, when he took Jake Snake's DDT instead of DiBiase or whatever it was, or it's always there to sort of to either save the day or to just take everything for DiBiase and that sort of thing, and just being at the right place, right time, and his cell. I'm going to say, do remember this? He was the first. It was the first personality to take the Cobra of Santino Marella.
Really? Wow.
I'm fairly sure that's right. He was the first one to do it because he'd been brought back as DiBiase Junior's for just a few weeks or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I'm fairly sure when Santino had been teasing this move, the Cobra, all the time, he just did it. He just did it to Virgil. But first of all, Virgil's first of all go.
That's awesome.
I'm fairly sure that's right.
I'll let you into. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, Gav.
I was going to say I'll let you into something. When I was at school, people used to call me Virgil. I wonder why. But yeah.
Bit of casual racism.
I have a crazy story about that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
A bit of casual racism there in your school there.
A little bit, but yeah. The other funny story to that was back in my former life, when I was wrestling, I was actually meant to have a match with Mr. Perfect.
Oh.
And that was actually, what was it? Well, he died before that could happen anyway.
Yeah.
But he was actually on the phone to Jake. I remember him saying, "Oh, this guy, was another black wrestler. Is it Virgil?"
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah. Okay, guys, let me share something about Virgil here, because, again, it's going to be a while since I mentioned this on the show, because it was a while since this happened. But these are the tweets, the private DMs I have with Virgil from... he had the video game Meat Sauce Madness, which came out starring Virgil a couple of years ago. And I got it and I reviewed it. And I was a bit like, oh, it's a Virgil video game about breadsticks. And I was a bit like, this is a bit, like, stupid and stuff like this. And then he messaged me. And it was the sweetest thing, because he'd seen that I'd reviewed it. And he wrote, "Brother, love ya. Have you downloaded the game yet? It would mean the world." Oh, and so, in fact, I said that it existed. And I was like, this is crazy. There's a Virgil video game. And so I said, "Hey, Virgil, downloading it now." And I bought it on the strength of Virgil messaging me. And I said, "The review will be up tomorrow. We'll hit you up with a link. Keep the meat sauce flowing." And he texts back like, wow. But yeah, and then I sent him the link, and because he was Virgil, he'd got his sale, and then he ghosted me. But yeah, that was really cool. But yeah, like all of the stuff you said, like Virgil with the $1 Million Man. You go back and you watch that, and it's all legitimate, and the huge build up to when he eventually has the turn. He had the short run in WWE as like a face for like 92, 93, kind of disappeared. I always remember when he came in to the NWO, and I think I'm correct in saying that at one point he was the leader of the NWO, which again was not seen as like the top version of the NWO, but still, you know, if he was like in the top of the NWO, that's still something that he deserves recognition for. And then obviously a couple of years ago, 3 or 4 years ago now, I guess, when AEW first started, I just love that they included him with the Jericho stuff and they brought him out on TV and that. So you know, it was good stuff there that they gave him like that last chance to shine at the top there, you know. And on the front of Ollie Anderson, a little bit like you, Ollie kind of predates where he was kind of out the Four Horsemen just as I started watching. So I've seen the old, what was it like, Dave? You must have had these. I think you said about all like the old VHS. Did you have like was like one particular like NWA? Not NWA. What was like there was like one particular VHS that everyone had if you had it.
No, I didn't have any NWA tapes.
You didn't have any NWA VHS tapes? Oh, no. Right. Well, but yeah, there was some, and so there'd be like old Four Horsemen stuff on that. And then I think that like the biggest thing that Ollie Anderson will go down in history for is just legendary. Well, no, not even Four Horsemen. Just legendary grumpy and curmudgeon that you know, goes beyond belief. But yeah. Here's one of the things about Ollie Anderson. Is he the genuine Anderson, or was it Gene Anderson? Because like literally, like Arn Anderson isn't a real Anderson, and it was either that Ollie is the only one, or it was that Gene Anderson is the only actual Anderson. And this whole clan of Andersons, and then obviously in ECW they had CW Anderson, and none of them are related. It's a completely
CW definitely wasn't a real Anderson.
Yeah, although a year or two ago, apparently I heard on Arn Anderson's podcast that he finally met CW Anderson, and Arn gave him the blessing that he's now an official Anderson, which is cool.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Been using it long enough, so you know.
Well, yeah, exactly. But yeah, so sad week for that in a couple of regards.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Ollie Anderson's real name was Alan Rogowski, so
so it's going to be Gene Anderson is going to be the only original one. Gene Anderson,
Speaking briefly about Virgil, though, really quickly about Virgil, I admire the fact that even as he kept his popularity going. Basically, he became a meme on the internet. It stayed relevant for a while, longer than anyone ever should.
Well, yeah. Do you know what? I remember seeing a tweet from Virgil, and I took this as heartfelt and genuine, where he was responding to someone saying, like, guys, you don't know how hard I have to hustle to like keep doing everything, and you do to stay relevant. Like, he's a different generation, but he was kind of like the Matt Cardona of like 20 years before then. You know, turning up with his huge wrestling superstar Virgil and that. You have to do stuff to get yourself in the public eye still.
And I was going to say, even the old memes of the queues.
Of the what?
Lining up.
Like,
or not everyone lining up.
Me that, like last week or something, Matt Cardona posted, the people that the wrestlers who are posting on social media, like their life depend on it, do it because it literally does. Yeah. You need to post on social media, stay relevant, to make money.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, sorry, I've just looked here. Gene Anderson is the original Anderson. Eugene Avon Anderson. So, yeah. Eugene's the only genuine one. But then, if I bring this up here, on the left is Eugene Anderson. On the right is Ollie, and you can see why they put Arn with him. Because, you know, if someone said, oh yeah, here's a random picture of Arn Anderson, I wouldn't have really questioned it. I'd have been like, he had hair? Jesus. Right.
I just checked it as well, but Virgil was the first person to sell the effect of the Cobra of Santino's.
Amazing.
Everyone else had been like not selling it at all, and finally it was Virgil. He got it right, and then everyone started taking it.
Okay, cool. Well, on this note, let's come on to AEW Revolution. It's now been confirmed, like, why they just didn't confirm this straight away. Sting's final match will be the main event, which it always had to be.
Yeah, that's true.
But, like, we can come on to proper predictions, but if it's, like, the final match, surely Sting has to win.
I hope so.
Really.
You think he's going to lose?
Not really. Like, you go out on your back, and then you give it, Bucks go and do... sorry, I've got to make sure... I haven't seen it in a little while.
Yeah.
The Bucks heel?
Yes.
Very heel.
Right, so okay.
Yeah.
They are the EVPs as if they have been produced in the TV show Succession.
They are playing Vince McMahon. They're playing Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
Right.
They're acting
I
like
was going to
Vince.
say, they have to go off and do all their dastardly stuff and everything, and then they exit, and then Steve gets his moment to say bye to the crowd and whatnot. That's
It's probably that, and they did the angle at the end of Dynamite where Sting and Darby were sort of standing tall, and so that sort of showed that maybe it's that way. But the other side of it, I really want Sting to remain undefeated in AEW and put the Scorpion Death Drop onto both the Bucks and have them both tap out. That's what I want.
Yes.
That would be brilliant.
Okay, just quickly on Dynamite from this last week.
Yes.
I assume everyone saw Sting's coming from the rafters entrance. Now, brilliant, but also, like, my God, like, that's just scary for them to ever do it in wrestling again. Like, but I imagine there's not a chance that they wouldn't have done this as safe as possible.
I was going to say, the safety would have been all done.
And I think Sting did do it in TNA, like, obviously after the Owen Hart thing. I think there was one time he did it in TNA.
Yeah.
But like the Asylum or the Impact Zone, like, you could have jumped down from the top of that and still...
It's not exactly the same arena as he did it in WCW. See the speed in which he came down in some of those clips.
Yeah.
It's like, one was just shooting down. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Although, I'm going to say I did not like it. I didn't like the fact that it was on Dynamite. Because what they should have done is they should have saved it to the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Nah, I think it's that element of surprise. I think if they did the whole sort of setup of where is Sting, I can't find Sting. Of course, it's in the rafters. No, you can't.
But you know what? You bring up a good point, Dev. What will his entrance be at the pay-per-view?
Oh, perfect. You just like segue. Surfer Sting.
Well, like he's suddenly going to come out bleach blonde hair.
on, it's got to happen. That's how he started.
Maybe his sons come out, one as Surfer Sting and one as another Sting, General Sting.
They're not wrestlers, though, are they?
No, they look exactly like him, so they're like...
Exactly, they're well built.
Yeah, they were well built, but I don't know. Like, his suddenly 45-year-old son's gonna debut, like, or however.
No, they're not going to be in action. I'm just saying, but they're just going to be part of the entrance. I think they'll be part of it. They'll be past Stings. Do you remember when Jeff Jarrett brought out past Stings in TNA?
I don't actually.
It's really funny. It's just bringing out different eras. But no, there's Sting's going to have a bunch of people from his past there as well. I think today they just confirmed Magna is going to be in the
Cool.
and Lex Luger's team is going to be there too. So.
See, they invited Kevin Nash, and that caused a bit of drama.
Yeah, but he's said why that is now, isn't he? It's not
yeah, he said the actual reason now. But everybody thought it was like, oh, WWE's not letting him. It's like, no, I don't want to be there to like disrespect WWE. I'll watch it from home, but I won't be there.
Yeah, I think though, like the entrance in on Dynamite, when you see the fan recordings of it, it's a lot more effective than what they actually showed, because they, for some reason, I understand it a little bit. For two reasons that they filmed it the way they did. One may have been like, oh, we're just a little bit nervous safety wise, so we're gonna have it a bit more in the background. And also they filmed the Bucks reactions rather than when you see like the fan cam of it, where it's literally just like coming down on that. It's actually a lot more effective. And then also maybe because again for like safety, he did the absolute right thing. They had Darby unhook him, which again, smarter way of doing it, because that way you could just stand there and be in character rather than try to unhook himself and stuff. But yeah, we're going to have Sting's final match. Guys, what is your favourite highlight of Sting ever, if I put you on the spot now? Go on, Gav, if you got one.
Him versus Triple H at WrestleMania.
Really? I mean, it was good, except for the ending was the wrong choice.
Come on! Of all the...
And well, even to defend that, right, if they didn't know that Sting was going to get Sethed, and, you know, if he'd been at Mania the next year, maybe he would have wrestled The Undertaker, or, you know, what Dave?
If the plan was that they were going to eventually put him on to Seth, then why didn't he win?
Yes, it's true.
Yeah.
It seemed like one and done. It was like, oh, that's it. This thing seems to make one appearance. And he came back and was like, okay, you have absolutely no grounds for a title shot here. You didn't.
Well, he's Sting. He's got, look, you know, there's some people that
more of the company he's in. He doesn't want a single match, and suddenly he's getting a title shot.
Oh, well, like, come on, like, imagine, like, it's like 1996 WWF. Vader comes in, and they're like, look, you got to work dark matches, Vader. It's like, no, come on, you bring in the big guy from the other company, you just put them in a championship match. You know, but, yeah, so perhaps they've got plans like, oh, well, okay, for the next couple of years, you'll end up against Undertaker at Mania, which he would have lost. You know, they were just going to job out Sting to everyone for years. But yeah, it's a shame it ended that way. I think probably my favourite era of Sting was probably 1992, 1993 Sting. And I know it wasn't like necessarily like the highlight of his career, because obviously everything with the Crow Sting kind of made him so much bigger. But when I first started watching wrestling, I was like, yeah, WWF, Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, but I couldn't watch it. But WCW was on every week, and Sting was probably the first wrestling person that I was like, this guy is the best thing in the world. So that, to me, like Surfer Sting and the announcement, this is Sting, you know, it was the best thing. And he was wrestling like Rick Rude, he was wrestling Vader. I hated it when Vader beat him for the WCW world title. That was like the worst day of my life up to that point in my life, you know. So that era of Sting, and then, you know, it would have, I think it was when, that was just before Flair came back to WCW, and then he probably worked Flair soon after, but maybe not straight away. But yeah, that was a good era of Sting. Anyone else got a favourite Sting moment?
I've got a couple. I think, like I say, sort of similar era, just the matches he had with Cactus Jack and
yes, yes.
Stuff he was doing. If you read Mick Foley's first book, it's like Sting's so happy that Cactus has come in and has ideas, and it has something to do, has ideas of what to do in the matches. Saying, I'm so sick of like wrestling these guys who just don't have any imagination and stuff like that. And yeah, so that sort of era. But I think there's a couple of really fun ones. I think I think my favourite stupid Sting moment is like you're saying about Flair. And it's that tag match where it's Flair and Sting versus Pillman and Anderson. And this whole thing he literally tells him in the weeks leading up to it, if you turn on me, Rick, I will kill you. If you turn on me, I will kill you. And what does Flair do? Gets a hot tag in, does a little shuffle, woo, bam, Sting right in the face. Yeah. And then they all just turn on him. It's that sort of stupid Sting moment. That's my favourite. But the best Sting moment, I think, is actually the 1996 War Games.
Yeah, go on.
It's the NWO versus CWW, and they've been teasing that Sting's part of the NWO, and they've got the fake Sting.
Yes.
And fake the last NWO member to go in there and run in, and they're beating everyone down and everything. I can't remember who's on CWW. I think it might be Flair, Luger, and someone else.
Yeah.
Savage, maybe.
Okay, yeah. So, but basically, what I was going to say, War Games at that time. War Game. Yeah. No, sorry. Go ahead. Well,
I was going to say, but then like the last member of Team WCW comes in, and it's real Sting, and the crowd go mad because it is real Sting. It's proven that he's loyal to WCW. Comes in, kicks everyone's ass. He kicks. He knocks down Six. He knocks down Hall. Knocks down Nash. Knocks down the fake Sting. Turns to his teammates and goes, "Do you trust me now?" And walks and just leaves them.
Yeah.
And it's brilliant because it's just
something I don't get.
To do exactly what he did, and yeah.
It almost feels like give me your perspective, especially if like Dave, if you saw it at the time, but other guys, if you know it as well. It almost feels like revisionist history when they say about like a year of build-up of Sting becoming the Crow, and then his match with Hogan, and he wins the title. They were like, it was a flop. To me, it wasn't a flop. Like at the time, I was like, this was great. You know, he'd won the belt. He came in, but they're like, you know, he wasn't in good enough shape. That's why they took the belt off him quite quickly. But like so many faces don't get the title for long. You know, it was just the build up to that moment rather than the bigger picture of like 3 months later or whatever.
But I think the main problems with that one, because it was Starcade, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it was the whole thing of Hogan had been like in charge most of the match, and it had been a bit dull and all that sort of stuff. And then they did the finish, the leg drop and things like that, and the referee just counts 1, 2, 3, and it was supposed to be a fast count.
Yeah.
But so there's controversy that maybe Hogan got in Nick Patrick's ear and said, "Hey brother, this doesn't work for me, brother," and just like and do a regular count, and that made Sting look totally. That's the flop, because it's like, what? Sting lost. What the hell? Then Bret Hart comes out, who was a referee earlier. He has referee power for the whole night.
Yeah.
And restarts the match. So because this is a month after Montreal as well, so he says, "This is not going to happen again. No, ring the bell. I am Bill Goldberg," all this sort of stuff. And then carries on, and then they restart the match. That's when Sting bursts into life and wins the title. And that's also the thing of like, is the Scorpion Deathlock, and Hogan doesn't tap out, doesn't look like he's submitting. It's just like in pain. And this looks like Bret Hart's just gone and looked at him, gone, "Ring the bell."
I'm not even sure. I don't think WCW had the tap out rule yet.
But it's weird. That's the, like I say, revisionist history. That's what people I think are looking at, and because of that match result is why they went with the vacating of the title for the rematch a few months later. I think.
Okay.
So I think it's because of disappointing feedback and things like that, because it wasn't an internet heavy time either at that point.
No, it wasn't.
Really
so this is my canon regarding that match, right? So originally it was meant to be a dirty finish where Hogan wins with a fast count.
Yeah.
He got into someone's ear saying, "Count it slow, I don't want to look bad."
What's that?
And the Bret Hart went off script and was like, "Fuck you," and restarted the match himself. And they're like, "Okay, I guess we're doing this," and he did it. And then when Hogan didn't want to tap out, Bret looked him in the eye and was like, "Fuck you in particular," and then tapped him out.
Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So another thought is, and this is actually a really good match, and it's a good moment. The last WCW match before it, like the final Nitro, the final match before Shane came out in the ring stuff, was Ric Flair and Sting.
Yeah.
Why isn't that the final Sting match now? Just put it back in the ring one more time.
Did you not watch that clip that you forwarded to the group chat?
It's such like the craziest thing is Ric Flair. It's like, oh, he's going to turn on Sting, and he's got a baseball bat and he puts it down to do the lamest punch ever.
Wasn't a punch, it was just a pokes Nick in the eye.
Oh yeah, it was a rake in the eye, and then I think a punch or whatever. But you got a baseball bat.
Like, we've already seen Ric Flair die twice this year. We don't need one more.
Yeah. Okay, let's bring it back to AEW. So let's see what else we've got. So the Meat Sauce Mania match or whatever it is has been cancelled.
Meat Sauce Madness or whatever.
Whatever it was called. They literally should have called it Meat Sauce Madness in dedicated to Virgil now.
I'm sure if they were keeping the match, they would have done. But
what did they call him in AEW? Was it like Soul Man Jones?
Soul Man Jones, that was the original ring name.
Yeah, that's it. Right. Yeah, they should have done it. Like they should do. He's been in AEW. They should like change this match to the Meat Sauce Madness, whatever tribute match. But I guess it's cancelled. And the thing I read about it was that as well as who was in it? It was going to be Powerhouse Hobbs, Wardlow,
and someone else.
It's Hobbs, Lance Archer, and Wardlow.
But there was also going to be a couple of others in it as well. And I forget who it was.
Yeah,
like Miro. And Keith Lee. Now, as a 5-way, that actually is a slapping meat match. So, I think Tony Khan did the right thing to delay it so that we can have the proper 5-way.
Yeah, it's good to delay it, but then it's also one thing to say, well, we were going to do this match, but these two are injured. It's like, well, why start announcing the match then if you know two of you guys are injured? So just immediately change it to the scramble match, which I guess makes more sense than things like that. The winner of this also get an AEW World Title shot, which makes the rankings.
So now it's Archer, Hobbs, Wardlow. So it's still the same match, plus Jericho, plus Hook, plus Brian Cage, plus Magnus, plus Dante Martin.
And probably it's not. And I should point out, it's not Magnus as in Brutus Magnus as in Nick Aldis. It's TMLL Magnus. Whatever that is. So
is this now the Andrew the Giant Battle Royal?
Andrew the Giant.
Yeah, it's Andrew the Giant Battle Royal. Yeah.
It's just a scramble match.
Who are we picking to win that?
Wardlow.
No, it's not going to be Wardlow.
No,
it's not going to be Wardlow.
On that list is going to win this match.
Literally, it's going to be Jericho. No, I'm joking. Right. It wouldn't surprise me because look, the thing is. If they look, Jericho, he's had his issues recently, and
one of the most recent issues I had with him was wasting my time for 20 minutes in that main event on Dynamite this week against Atlantis Jr. Good lord, what a terrible match!
Yeah, but it's just amazing how the mighty has fallen. Now he's just in a scramble match, so I think he has to be involved at least in the finish here. But, okay, beyond that, we've got FTR against the Blackpool Combat Club. Thoughts?
It's been decent in-ring build-up. It's not like a massive personal issues. It's just a case of two teams think they're best. They've wrestled to a draw already in this one. Wrestled hopefully, presumably to a winner. And I think probably FTR will probably do it.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on that?
There's no, it's not much of a character feud or whatever. It's basically a match of skill. Who's better than it?
Yeah. I mean, the good thing with a feud like this, a tag team feud, is it then builds legitimacy for who will get a future tag team title shot. Yeah. And it's something that, every wrestling promotion, have kind of forgot to do. You'll get random singles matches of this feud, this person's feuding with this. You don't often get tag teams feuding unless it's for the tag team titles.
Is all the issues with Wheeler, the legal stuff, all gone now? Or?
No, it's not gone. I think there's been.
I thought you meant Wheeler Utah. And I was like, what's he done?
I must say, he's not been taking the rap, has he? The Tony Khan hasn't like gone. Oh, you know what, we're not really using you at the moment. Can you just pretend to be like Cash? And
you can imagine it in the court
while we have Cash in this feud.
Yeah. Well, we signed this confession that Wheeler was guilty, but not the Wheeler you think. And suddenly he just turns up. He's wearing a Blackpool Combat Club shirt, and he rips it off, and it's FTR.
The name on the warrant does read Wheeler.
Yeah. Oh my God, where have they done? Oh, that was Ricky Starks and Ricky Steamboat, wasn't it? Like a few months ago.
Yeah.
Well, it does say the dragon, but not this dragon. And look, everyone was like, "Yay, Bryan Danielson's back!" But at the same time, I was like, "I wait to see Ricky Steamboat wrestle."
Yeah.
Also, logic. Why would you sign a contract that's just Red Dragon?
Oh my God, the missed opportunity in WWE, like when CM Punk was injured. It's like, well, Seth Rollins, you're going to go against someone at WrestleMania, but it's not this Punk, it's this Punk, and out comes Ricky Steamboat. That would have been a WrestleMania main event. Ricky Steamboat versus Seth Rollins is the match we all need that we didn't realise.
You know what I really want now?
What?
AEW to announce a match between a Page and a Cage, but don't reveal what the first name is.
Ah, yeah. A Cage versus a Page, and which one is it? There's many Cages, there's many Pages.
It ends up being Brian Cage versus Saraya.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. But, okay, look, I'm just going to go back on my own idea here, right? Come on. If we could have a match across time, Seth Rollins and Ricky Steamboat would be an absolute belter. What a match that would be. And I don't think that's a match anyone would think about, but that would be awesome.
Randy Savage and Seth.
Yeah.
I just randomly, the other day, I just suddenly thought, imagine if Ricky Steamboat and Eddie Guerrero wrestled.
Yeah.
That just came, I thought, I'm thinking, I'm not sure.
See, around the 2010s, there was a WWE video game called WWE All-Star.
Yeah.
Who had a bunch of dream matches between stuff like Randy Orton and Jake the Snake.
Yeah.
And Stone Cold versus CM Punk. They could do it like that again.
I think they should do that game again. Like, the only reason that video game exists, if you remember it, is there was one called Legends of Wrestling. And they did 3 of them, and that company went bust. And suddenly WWE did Legends of WrestleMania. And then they did WWE All-Stars. And these were good ideas. But like Randy Orton and Jake the Snake, other than that he's called the Viper, there is no logic for why that should exist. You know, Legend Killer, he's a legend, but all of them are legends. You know.
Yeah, they had all these weird matchups with tangential connections.
Yeah, where... Andre the Giant versus Nia Jax. It's just
Yeah.
Okay, next up we do have Christian Cage, with Killswitch, Mother Wayne, and the prodigy Nick Wayne versus Daniel Garcia for the AEW TNT Championship. No, Gav, no.
I'm just going to go like that.
No, Dave, no. Just... Right, oh dear.
I don't know who's going to win this one, actually. I'll probably go with Christian Cage, but it might be, Garcia could probably take it, and maybe as a distraction from Adam Copeland, I don't know, but...
The only thing that worries me about Garcia winning is I don't quite know what they're going to... I think they need to have something big with Christian planned, because if he loses the title, I don't know what he does next. He's leading a group to what end? If he doesn't have a bell and they're not and the other guys aren't going over... Because look, Nick Wayne I don't care about, truthfully. Luchasaurus... I feel like they have no idea what to do with him. At all. And so
they're building up to a Virgil-style DiBiase.
I know, but it's just but when that happens, I will literally be on Christian's side. So, and that's the problem. Luchasaurus, they have never figured out his personality. Because remember a few years ago, he was like, "Rah! No, actually, I'm a scientist." And it's like, why did you give this away? If they didn't have some amazing plan for that, where each week it was going to turn out that he was the brains as well as the brawn.
Yeah.
You know, if he was Beast from X-Men, where he was like Kelsey Grammer looking like a monster, then fine. But they did it once and killed his whole gimmick of being a dinosaur. and then all of a sudden they're like, oh no, you're a heel now. We're going to make you Kane, and you're just going to roar again. And you can't talk.
Isn't that like Abyss?
Yeah, exactly. He's literally just Abyss. But like, he's worse than Abyss.
I'm pretty sure they did the scientist thing, and they got a cease and desist from Marvel. And then they had to stop.
Wait.
You did?
Because of the lizard.
Who did?
AEW got a cease and desist from Marvel because Luchasaurus' scientist character was too similar to the lizard from Spider-Man.
Wow. I never knew that.
It obviously didn't work because he's still doing it.
Yeah. Was it? Well, I remember there was a thing that he had to change his mask. So that's probably...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like saying, oh, he's a scientist who's part lizard is a bit too similar to our character. So please stop that.
Yeah. Well, they're saying that only one lizard man can actually be a scientist. That is... I'm not sure how that's racist, but it sounds like it's prejudice. But, you know, you're saying that no lizard, except for one, can be a scientist. That is some sort of bigotry. Right. To the members of the lizard community. But, okay, next up. Speaking of members of the lizard community, Will Ospreay is going to... I don't know why I said that. It was just a segue. Right, okay, against Takeshita.
I imagine he's the sort of person who would believe in lizard people, so that's alright.
Ospreay versus Takeshita. Ospreay's winning. But how long do we think this match is going to go?
You know what? I don't know if he is.
Really?
Because Takeshita is like Callis' like his project, everything like that. I don't know. They're putting this match together, but I don't think Callis will like the idea that Ospreay would win. Because it's like Takeshita has done this whole thing of like he's beaten Jericho with his own hold, beat Kenny Omega twice in like the space of like 2 weeks and what have you. And I mean, let's just forget the whole part where he's basically not done anything in between that time.
Yeah, exactly.
But this time around, if he just goes ahead and Ospreay beats him, well, if Ospreay beats him, then I guess Callis would be like, oh, this is not part of the plan. And
it's such difficult.
Ospreay's not going to be part of that group for long.
Yeah, it's such a difficult situation just because you make a really good point. Takeshita's had some big wins, and it's like, what is their long-term plan for him? He's not going. When's he getting a world title match if he's beating Omega? You know, if he's this big a star, why is he just languishing in this group?
That's the. I guess that could be the long-term thing of like saying, "Wake up, Takeshita. He's not actually doing you any good." It's then sort of hope at some point they'll do another turn. It's the thing I think with John Callis, he's one of these guys that everyone will turn on eventually. So,
yeah.
Thing with Christian Cage, I guess, like you said with Luchasaurus, but it's yeah. So I think you're right. Ospreay probably will win it. It's most likely he's going to win it, but I won't be mega surprised if Takeshita did take it by some kind of foul play.
I think they need to push Will Ospreay, like whatever their plan is for All In 2024. He's in the main event. He should be winning a world title, and they need to try to push this guy as the biggest star that they've ever had and make him a huge thing. Because otherwise, he's just going to be another guy there. He's going to be another Kenny Omega who hasn't truthfully ended up as this big star. You know, his run as world champion throughout the pandemic was good, but he's kind of, you know, he's not anything outside the AEW New Japan bubble. And AEW need to get homegrown, well, not that Ospreay would be, but they need to kind of get non-ex-WWE guys to seem like a massive deal to lead their company. Ospreay is an opportunity for that. And I don't think they can start him off, even though he's already been there for a year, but I don't think they can start him off with his debut with a loss.
See, I want to say, like, my prediction is Ospreay's going to win, but then the rest of the 6 months or so, Don Callis is going to try to recruit him.
Yeah.
Because he beat Takeshita. And that's
really
the program for...
already in the group.
Is he?
Ospreay's in the group. This whole thing, Don Callis has set up this thing saying, well, Takeshita is not a competition outside of our group, so we're going to make this match happen.
Huh.
I think that's what I was saying, that Ospreay's in the group, and that's what I was saying. There might be foul play and all that sort of stuff, and that's the reason for Ospreay not to be part of it. But no, he's part of the Don Callis family.
I think that he'll be out of it. They'll keep him in this until Double or Nothing. They'll split him off then, and then put him on the path to... Yeah. Who does he wrestle at All In? I know it's months away, and so much can happen. But, like, what is the main event of that? Like,
I originally said Swerve, but...
Well, yeah, here's the thing. Like, we'll get onto the world title match in a minute.
Yeah,
I would be all in for Swerve taking this title if it was the main event. I just don't like... Another problem AEW have got is whatever they did with MJF, to me, him being world champion for 3/4 of the run, he felt secondary. He only main evented maybe half of the pay-per-views during his run. And if Swerve wins the world title and it's not the main event, then it's all going to be... The headlines that night and the next day are going to be about Sting. And then they can try to then start Dynamite and go into Collision and stuff with Swerve. But I think if you want to have like a star-making moment, it's got to be the main event. It's got to be the main event. And they could save that... there could be whatever happens here, and then Swerve gets the second chance at Double or Nothing and then wins. And then you could build to Swerve versus Ospreay. But I don't know, like, it feels like they'll have to build all of those pieces from the ground up. From here. Hangman Page, I literally can't stand anymore. So, he's taking the loss here no matter what.
He's been great recently.
I can't stand him anymore. What is this mustache he's got?
It's a heel mustache, that's what it is.
Yeah, I know it is. Well, it's true, actually. Do the Jacksons have mustaches as well at the moment?
Do what, sorry?
The Young Bucks, are they sporting mustaches?
I think one of them is.
Okay, let's bring this up.
I think it's this thing of like this double turn they've done, and they've been going over the last couple of weeks, and Dynamite they pretty much solidified it. You know, Hangman coming out with the crutch saying he's injured his ankle, and then Swerve coming out and sort of like going, you know, I do hate you, but I do respect the fact that you've been putting up this fight and all sort of stuff, and saying respect, and then back turn, flag. And Page is definitely full heel now, so it's been a decent turn, I think, and just one of those ones that maybe they've just had to go with the audience reaction, because the audiences have been for Swerve.
Yeah, well, absolutely. He's been like interesting for the last year. Him and like Keith Lee, it was obvious Swerve was like more of the star, and that's no disrespect to Keith Lee. Keith Lee has been massively misused in AEW, whereas Swerve in a mismatch put together tag team started being like, oh no, this is the guy, and then everything that's happened over the last year, and obviously like the the whole dance and stuff has really helped him, which is kind of Swerve adjacent, but it's all part of the package. But sorry, just to come on to this 1 second, just because otherwise like the moment's going to have passed too much. Here are the heel mustaches that we're talking about of the Young Bucks, and here is the heel mustache. You're right. To me, he is a 1970s like what is it? Like police officer from shit. What is the I'm trying to think. What is like a 1970s or 1980s? What was that? Or the Magnum. Like I don't even think they had it. But if he was the police officer in the Dukes of Hazzard, I'd just accept it. You know what I mean?
Or a dirty porn star.
Well, exactly. What is with these heel mustaches? I don't know. Actually, you might have won me over on the mustache, but still.
Has Kenny got one yet?
See, no, he had one, and he looked like Triple H.
Oh, right, okay.
Who had one?
Kenny Omega. When he had the moustache, it was like Triple H's.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah.
But Joe's winning, I think.
Holy shit! Actually, coming back to what you said earlier about the Jacksons, look at Nick Jackson. He literally has Vince McMahon's mustache.
Yeah.
That is literally the Vince mustache.
Yeah.
Shit, I hadn't.
Vince.
Yeah, I hadn't picked up on that before. Wow.
They've been trying to be Vince since they became EVPs, like, and then when they turned heel.
Yeah, that's a difficult mustache to pull off though, because like his brother, look that brother Matt Jackson, that isn't a Vince mustache. Yeah, so Nick Jackson is, you know, he achieved some stuff there. Okay, so let's come on. We may have skipped over a match. Oh no, that's Elimination Chamber.
Do we all think that who's winning the world title match? Talking about it, but I think Joe's winning. Paige and Swerve will cancel each other out in some way. Joe will take it back.
I'm going to go for the bold prediction that Swerve is winning, but they should have saved it until Double or Nothing.
I don't see it happening.
I don't. If it was the main event, I'd see it happening. But
I
think there's a Swerve coming here, guys.
I think they might do Swerve winning it at the Boston show.
When is that? Mark, that's like in a week's time, though, right?
About a week and a half time, they can do that. Just do it one.
Look, I'll be honest, guys. You have to remember that not all men are created equal. And Samoa Joe doesn't have really good chances.
Yeah.
Fuzzy.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think it's me Adam Page because it's me like a ADP related fuck finish.
Yeah, I just really don't like Adam Page. I don't want to see him as a 2-time world champion. I don't think. Maybe it's because of the shirt I'm wearing. I just don't think I can ever get on board with Adam Page again.
Yeah.
Okay, Tony Storm, Deonna Purrazzo. Whatever. I always forget. It's like pizza. I can never pronounce these things.
Well, you're closer with pizza than what you said.
Yeah, I know. It's because I read it rather than said it. Purrazzo. Yeah.
Tony.
I was going to say Tony.
Yeah, Tony.
I'm going Deonna.
Really?
Yeah.
It's been quite fun, this little build-up, actually. This whole sort of thing of them using the ankle tattoos. I thought originally, I heard this on another podcast, I thought originally they're going to do something where like Deonna gets unshoed or something like that. And because you notice that Tony's been doing the ankle lock recently as a finish, as a division. And I thought at one point she was going to do it, then see the tattoo and go, and just like be like, oh, what have I done? What have I done? Or something like that. But then she's trumped that by adding to her tattoo the dagger going through her tattoo, which is the matching tattoo with Deonna. So it's that I guess that kind of played the mind game sort of side of it quite well. What do you guys actually think of Tony's performance? Because I think she's constantly on the precipice, and like some weeks she's gone way over the top with it, and it's like annoying. The next week is right on the back on the right side of it, and enjoyable.
I agree with that, Dave. Like, there's been times where I felt like it's run its course, but then there's times where it's back on track. I'm a little bit of the opinion that it probably needs an evolution, just because it's so different.
What should bring Mark Jindrak in, do you think?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I was going to say, their production is really good, though. Yeah. They have
the black and white. Yeah.
That's just ripping off Killer Cross's entrance, isn't it? I mean,
The only way I'll accept it is if they find a way, and they could probably do this. Like, you know, if I hate the fact that we're in 2024 and in 2020 we had better technology on Zoom than we do now. But like, if you remember Snapcam, it would follow your face. They need to have tracking so that literally nothing but her is in black and white.
Wow, that would be impressive.
That must be possible. If they could do it on Zoom, so we could like literally be putting on like a Kane mask and stuff. If you remember, like a couple of years ago, Capelthave or Corey would be sat here and just like they were the kings of Snap Camera. Just suddenly they'd have a Kane mask on. It's like there must be a way that, like, with his billions of dollars, Tony Khan can make it so that Tony Storm literally, and look, I can't think of a better. The only thing is that the reference I'm about to give seems like wildly inappropriate, but it's the only way I can, like, the only comparison I can come off. But if you know the movie Schindler's List, which is entirely in black and white, except for the one little girl where you see that she's got like a red jacket, and that, like, everything else except for the jacket is in black and white. They need the reverse of that, so that everything else is in colour except for Tony Storm. Just find a way. That's what I'm saying. Which brings us to Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong. A singles match for the AEW International Championship. Wait, have we skipped over a match? Oh yeah, Eddie Kingston, Danielson. Okay, so let's go with... Yeah, we'll come back to that. So, Cassidy and Strong.
It absolutely ages to build for this.
Mm.
They did the challenge for this like a few months ago. So that's where I was like, to the point where I was like, oh, that's actually ages away. Now suddenly it shows here, and it's like, okay, that's cool. They've been doing this little build with... I thought they were doing quite a clever build with this whole story of them taking out all of Cassidy's running buddies. So that they took out Rocky Romero one week. They'd already taken out Chuck Taylor backstage. They took out Trent Beretta, and as in, like, Cassidy was on his own. Until this week on Dynamite, when Beretta and Rocky Romero suddenly were just suddenly back. And it's like, oh, okay, I thought the whole point was they were out.
Well, if you remember back, the whole thing that we were saying was that, oh, is Orange Cassidy more of a heel now after he lost it and then like got it back? And it's not really.
I've never thought that.
Really?
I was going to say, I thought that.
Yeah, like after he, because who did he lose it to? Moxley.
Moxley, and he won it back from Phoenix, didn't he?
Yeah, because so there was like something about he'd got like a new attitude and stuff.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought
it just kind of it vaporized. Yeah.
Oh right.
I must not be part of that conversation.
Okay.
I just think he couldn't take things more seriously, and more that I've never thought he'd been more heelish. Who is being heelish though? Trent Beretta.
Yeah.
And I think there's a turn coming with him. I think he might cost Cassidy.
I think Trent Beretta would be really good in Ring of Honor. Right.
That's a damning indictment.
Yeah. No. Oh my god! Like what? Like last week we were speaking about the Bang Bang Scissor Gang. Yeah, well, how the mighty have fallen. Look at like JY and so many people. They need to just get their main event picture.
Are they heels or faces? Because I saw them come in with
both. Yeah. You are both. Like they'll be faces for as long as it's convenient, and then they'll split them up.
Right. Okay.
You know.
And then what's his face? Forgot his name. I was going right over Platinum. Matt.
Yeah. Oh my god! Did you see his botch promo?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was brilliant. His botch rap, I should say.
Yeah.
He just completely lost it. And I think he's lost it once before, and he was like, "Let's do it again." He just petered out. Brilliant.
There was that one time he did that, and I think that was on Rampage, so they could do it again. Unless this is online television.
But then he has put out
from Alex Savages, who's bumped out of the ring for the famous.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, but what? Who was it? Like, there was a wrestler I tweeted this week who sort of defended that, like, wrestling's meant to be fun or something like that. It's like,
they've got people that are talking about it.
Yeah, and I was like, but that isn't a good enough excuse for it looking this like lame. There's no logic to it. It doesn't mean that it's fun or not fun, but it still doesn't mean you can just excuse something being sloppy. That was the word I used. Okay, look, a couple more matches. We already kind of covered the Sting one, but we'll come back to that just to wrap things up. Just go on where of the time and all that. Eddie Kingston, Bryan Danielson for the Triple Crown, which is the Continental Pointless Championship, the Ring of Honor World Championship, which is so irrelevant now, it is literally part of another championship, and the New Japan Strong Openweight Championship.
I thought it was just for the Continental Crown, but okay.
Is there a single for the Continental Crown Championship?
I don't know.
Which is all three of them.
But it's also the respect thing as well, so if Eddie wins, then Danielson has to shake his hand finally.
I was going to say that's going to happen.
Yeah, I think it should happen.
Sorry?
No, go ahead.
I was just saying Danielson doesn't win these big matches in AEW anyway, so...
Okay, is it, like, I know, like, Danielson might say that he's going to be wrapping things up and his last match will be at All In before he goes part-time, basically. Yeah. He kind of says he's going to do one more year full-time and then be part-time. They got Daniel Bryan, who had main evented WrestleMania the year he debuted in AEW, and he's not been a world champion. I think that's a crime.
doesn't have to be.
He does.
See, the thing I heard about that is, it's a choice. He doesn't want to be champion.
I was just about to say, I don't think...
on him, and he doesn't want to be champion.
It's kind of like Booker T in TNA.
No, Booker T should have been world champion in TNA, though.
Yeah.
Didn't he leave TNA because he was losing too much?
I think he said that he wanted to start off like not coming in and winning all the time.
Right.
And then that's what he says anyway.
But Danielson actually refuses the belt every time they tell him.
Oh, well, that's ridiculous. Look, here's the thing. If I was Tony Khan, I'd be like, you signed the contract, right, Daniel? And he'd be like, my name's Brian. I'd say, shut up, Daniel. You signed the contract. Here's two things. One, you're winning the title because I probably paid you millions of dollars. And two, I know you promised Vince that you wouldn't do the yes thing, but we need a lot of momentum for this company, so we want them to do the yes thing.
They're doing it now.
Well, yeah, like, on TV?
Are they? Oh.
Yeah. They're doing it last week on the sixth man.
Oh, okay.
That hit Eddie with the psycho, and he got up and just like, and just did that.
I'm hearing like little bits and pieces saying that a lot of things that Tony wants the guys to do, and they go against, gets squashed anyway. So I don't think Tony has the power to enforce it.
Yeah, because the enforcer of the Tony's rules now is Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, the discipline committee.
There you go.
That's just wild. Okay, so guys.
Eddie's winning anyway, I think.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Daniel Bryan could win the Ring of Honor World title there. This is how you stealthily make him world champion. You know. Okay, look, coming back to Sting for a second, we were speaking earlier about, and someone shared this, and once again I'm going to have to be careful about how I show this on the screen, so I'll just do it in still images. Sting's entrance. Now, this is probably not an open-top arena or whatever. It almost certainly isn't. But there was this WCW entrance where he made his entrance from a helicopter.
What?
And, yeah, came down. I'd forgotten this. I've seen this clip before. But he literally came down out of a helicopter. And that's what they need to do for his last one. How can you top that?
I mean, I don't know. Could he be beamed down? Could Matt Hardy get his old his thing? What's it called? The
Vanguard.
Yeah, Vanguard.
Could he carry
on a drone? Yeah.
What if he comes in dressed as the Undertaker?
Love it. Oh, just do that tease. I've been saying for 2 months now, Steve Borden versus Mark Calloway at Mania. Make it so, guys. Make it so.
What happens if next year in Saudi Arabia that Sting's brought in to showcase the cut, the cut, whatever it was.
Wait a second, hang on.
Look out there, they had the stare off there.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
Things like, this is my team, that's your team, whoever wins.
Remember the very first Brock Lesnar and Undertaker's stare-off was at a UFC event.
Yeah.
What, when the Undertaker stared off no one, you saying? Okay, look, I'm just on Twitter to see if there's any last breaking things. And we were saying about what was it actually called? It wasn't the meat sauce match, that's Virgil.
Meat Madness.
Meat Madness thing. I know why it hasn't happened yet. Powerhouse Hobbs has just shared this, and I think it might be saying happy birthday. But look, how can you have the Meat Madness match without Big E? So, literally, Big E needs to be in that. Goldberg is debuting. We're having full-on Meat Madness. That's how it happens.
Getting a Hoss division, that's what you get.
Yeah, Hoss division, yeah. Okay, guys, we were... Well, in fact, did we all agree? Who said Sting was winning?
Me. Well, I want him to win. My blind fandom on this one is going to be that he's winning. I know he's not, but I want him to.
Trish Stratus won her last match, even though she was champion. Before she then had 10 more matches. But when she first retired.
And then you can have what Tony Khan loves to do, put on another tournament.
Yes, yeah. There you go.
Big announcement.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, with the Trish retirement, weren't both Lita Lita and Trish both retiring on
No.
the same day.
Lita retired 1 month later, and they were literally like, "You're a hoe." So whereas like Trish had got like this heroes, I don't even know if it was the main event, but it might have been on a pay-per-view or it was on a Raw. It was, if it wasn't the main event, it was like the match before, and it was like hometown hero in Toronto and stuff, and then Lita ended up as champion. And then 1 month later, she was retiring, and they were literally just like throwing knickers at her or whatever, stuff like this, saying that she was like a trash hoe and stuff. So the difference in respect they gave Lita compared to Trish was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna say I'm gonna stick with the idea that the Young Bucks are gonna want to politic a win here. So
they need to stop calling themselves the Young Bucks, by the way.
yeah. Well, yeah, but like the Nature Boy, it's like the Nature Pensioner, you know.
Heartbreak Kid.
Well, yeah, exactly. No, they never think about their futures in this. Right, guys. I can't see if there's any breaking news, but I'll check to see if there's anything.
The Rock has said that. Let me just get this.
Yeah, go for it.
I've got like a 6.5-minute Instagram video. So
yeah, The Rock on the bottom of my heart. F. Cody Rhodes story.
Wow. Oh yeah, also new members of the Bloodline. So Tama Tonga, who's been in New Japan, isn't that Haku's kid?
Yeah.
Right.
Tongan, not Samoan.
Yeah.
But
Samoa,
and also like I think we just need to acknowledge Haku laughing at seeing the Shockmaster. I wish we could show it on the show because it genuinely gets funnier and funnier the more you see him laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that was so good.
Last person in wrestling in the world has seen that.
Yeah.
Apparently Okada is going to be debuting on Dynamite next week.
Okada's debuting when?
There are very strong rumours Okada's debuting next week on Dynamite.
Wow.
Is that Boston?
No, that's Midcourt. And the other one was, what was the other thing I saw? And I think, I think we've talked about Mercedes, haven't we? And pretty much a lot for that show. Tama Tonga. I don't get it. It's just you might as well bring in like every like Samoan / Tongan in the business then to do that. Like say Jacob for two, get him in, bring him in.
Yeah, I mean, so if there's Jacob Fatu and there might, I think there's another one. Like, isn't there a?
Hawaii, I think.
Is that the one that's quite young? That's just literally debuted.
Whose son is
He's
that?
been around for a few. What? Oh no, that's.
Unless there's another one.
I don't know who that is, but there's Matt Hawaii. He's been around for a little while. I don't know if that's his name. Actually.
Yeah.
I think so.
Isn't it Omaga's son who just debuted?
That's it. Yes, that'll be another.
Okay.
I'll go just debut. Jason Hawaii, maybe.
Yeah. I think this isn't a bad thing to do because look, if The Rock is now on the board of directors and he is planning to be more visible and more involved, because he may have looked at things and like he's done a couple of Netflix films, but Black Adam obviously, you know, it didn't bomb, but they're not making a sequel. He may feel like a year in WWE is going to rejuvenate him in Hollywood. So yeah, they're going to end up splitting the Bloodline, and we're going to have the Bloodline Black and White and the Bloodline Wolfpack. You know, just NWO. Apparently, Alexander Hammerstone has signed with TNA Wrestling.
That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, which is a decent signing for them. My only thought on this in terms of Hammerstone not getting to AEW, I never saw him going to WWE. Is I feel like this is where he is now. It's going to be TNA, and this was probably his last shot to. Like, I don't think he's that old. Probably only early 30s at the most, or maybe still even late 20s. But I don't think he's going to get a big contract anywhere else. Nobody cared but me. It's quite.
Yeah.
The only thing notable about Alex Hammerstone being Sam TNA was that their drug testing must be terrible.
Well, maybe, like, you know, who's that? He's 33. So, literally, if he signed a 3-year contract, WWE aren't going to be signing him up in 3 years' time.
No.
Yeah, well, okay, maybe, Gav, maybe. But, I don't know. I think this was his shot. But, look, time will tell. Anyway, let's find out where we can find everyone on social media. Because I don't think there's any other breaking news. Hang on, breaking news. Tiffany Stratton versus Naomi tonight on SmackDown. I think The Rock is going to be on SmackDown. Dominic Mysterio got. Okay, this is the breaking news. Dominic Mysterio's getting married, and it's not Marmy. Like, my whole reality is broken here.
Oh, this is like Lana and Rusev all over again. Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't believe it. You know.
Although, one bit of news I just saw as well. Jade Cargill is going to be on SmackDown today.
Yes, I saw that as well.
Ooh.
And Seth Rollins as well.
Yeah, no, SmackDown tonight is gonna be one to watch.
And Tyler Bate and Big Dunn and lots of people will be on SmackDown tonight.
Yeah, and
you might be on SmackDown tonight.
I think that just came up literally this second. Cena is planned to be at Mania 40, but it is not capacity because he can't wrestle because he's filming Peacemaker, but he's gonna be involved somehow.
Oh.
Yeah, guest referee for the eventual R-Truth and Miz versus Judgment Day match.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Invisible referee.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, Dave, where can the people find you?
On Twitter, because I refuse to call it X, it's @Greeno, and David Anthony Green for acting exploits and improv exploits and that sort of stuff. Everywhere else.
Okay. Dev, where can the people find you?
They can find me on Twitch and TikTok under the name FUUDAT.
Okie dokie. Gav, where can the people find you?
You can see me on X. The best Gav.
Okay, my name is David Pstansky. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter @David Pstansky. Check out Xstreamed.tv as well as the Slam Jam Wrestling Show, podcast, YouTube channel, TikTok, and all that jazz. And with that, until next time, stay safe, always stay extreme, keep slamming and jamming, you Slam Jam bronies. And with that, boom, we're off the air. Yeah!